He's pretty mentally weak in the ring. You know, as soon as things don't start going his way, he starts to crumble, and things aren't going to go his way. So I think he's going to crumble.
Yeah.
The fight the world didn't see coming. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Critics call it cash grab, but with a real knockout bonus on the line, pride and legacy are now at stake. Tank's reputation can't afford a loss to a YouTuber. And Jake, he says the doubt only fuels him. 60 pounds apart, one ring, no excuses. This isn't an exhibition, it's war. Fame, fire, and legacy collide, and only one walks out with respect. Jake Paul reacts in shock as new sparring footage of Gervonta Tank Davis surfaces. He says criticism and doubt only fuel his excitement, making every fight more thrilling. Jake insists he's been training relentlessly, staying sharp and focused. With confidence, he reveals he's wanted to face Tank for years, and now that it's finally happening, he truly believes he can beat him.
Stand on business and say the other person's gonna win. I like it.
So when
it makes it fun.
When he lay your boy out, you know what I mean?
He's my boy too. I love Mike.
I mean, Mike will move from this side to this side without you knowing exactly at which moment.
Showbiz the adult fires back at critics who claim Gervonta Tank Davis took the Jake Paul fight just for money. He insists the situation is far more complex than people think. Jake himself revealed the contract includes a knockout bonus that changes everything. With that in play, Tank will go all out. There's no chance he'll risk being the one on the canvas. The fight becomes more than pride. It's about legacy and reward. Showbiz says many ignore the psychological side. Tank is a proud fighter, and the idea of being knocked out by a YouTuber turned boxer is unthinkable. When critics call it a cash grab, they miss the truth. There's real fire behind it. For Tank, reputation matters more than any check. And Jake's knockout bonus talk only made this fight more personal and dangerous.
You guys told me that Gervonta Tank Davis is just taking this fight for a payday. He's just trying to get to the bag. Well, you got the fight itself, which is a payday, and you got a KO bonus on top of that, a big bonus. That's what Jake Paul said.
They're going to get a big bonus.
And they got a side bet of $2 million.
Let's make it two.
Y'all gonna shake on it?
Yeah.
Shake on it?
Shake $1 million.
$2 mil?
2 mil?
2 mil. Let's do
2
it.
mil. Get a shake.
Oh, they're shaking left here.
2 mil.
There we go.
Oh my fuck.
Why not get the entire bag? Whenever I got good food on my plate, I clean the plate. There is no reason to bull jive. Hold on. Because I'm gonna play some Marvel Rivals. Let me get all this together. I'm gonna be playing some Marvel Rivals later. Hold on, let me get my black two sugars, no cream. And yes, no cream, because I'm fired up today. I got on the scale today and I'm 209 pounds, okay? You guys know that I'm on the fitness journey. I'm showing you guys my video journal. And I started at 217 pounds when I started all this 12 days ago. And I'm telling you, I'm seeing faint abs. Hold on, the faint abs. Woo! The faint abs! The faint abs! The faint abs! I'm telling you, it'll be back. I will be back. I want my Terminator shit. And when I'm done, I'm going to tell you guys my secret and exactly how I did it. I'm talking about step by step, everything. I'm going to be in great shape like I was. When I turned 45 and all the gray in the beard, I was just like, it ain't over, bro. It ain't over. Hold on. Let me. Ooh. Dr. Doom. Okay. All right. But listen, a lot of you guys calling this a fake fight and all this shit. I'm going to quote one of you in the war room. I forgot, one of my show business partners said, was it Justin Hill? I forgot who it was. You guys said, something like, and if I misquote you, I'm sorry, but it was dope. You said something like, if this is a fake fight, it definitely has real consequences. I keep telling you guys, man, if it goes on their real record or not, whatever it is, you know what you saw. It's just like Ryan Garcia versus Devin the American Dream Haney. Devin Haney is still undefeated, but we know what we saw. You cannot erase what we saw. If Jake Paul knocks out Tank Davis, there's some real circumstances. The shit goes viral, and I'm going to lose $10,000. Jake Paul isn't just going to win in this exhibition, but he's also going to get a knockout bonus and an extra $2 million.
Robert Garcia views the matchup through the eyes of a veteran, but he says there's nothing technically wrong with Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Jake Paul. It's his career and choice, but the timing feels wrong. Garcia points out that legends like Mayweather, Tyson, and Pacquiao took exhibition fights only after securing legacies and world titles. Tank, he argues, isn't there yet. Fans still want the defining matchups that build greatness and silence critics. For Garcia, the frustration isn't about this fight itself. It's about what it stands for. Instead of testing himself against top names like Shakur Stevenson or Devin Haney, Tank chose a flashy event with Jake Paul. To Garcia, that skips a vital chapter that he says Tank has the skill to earn real, lasting respect. But chasing spectacle too soon could hurt his legacy. In Garcia's view, this fight feels premature, a distraction, not a step toward greatness.
Stop the contest before something like that, but I don't know. What's your just take on the whole thing?
I'm not very interested. That doesn't excite me. I know it's going to do really good numbers. I know they're making a lot of money, which is good for them, good for Tank, because in boxing that's what everybody looks for. I think is, you know, the good thing is they announced it as an exhibition, which is, I'm okay with it. You know, everybody does it. Mayweather has done it. Ali did it. You know, the only thing, my personal opinion is Tank. You know, they all did it when they had already accomplished so much. They already did so much. Mayweather did everything in boxing and accomplished everything. Muhammad Ali did the same, and many others that have done it. I think Tank never gave us the fights that we really wanted. Never really gave us those challenges. He never really challenged himself. He didn't give Rhodes that rematch, which he should have. You know, Mayweather did it when he had a hard time with Maidana and Castillo. Right away, he did the rematches to prove everybody wrong, and look at what he did. He beat them clearly. So Tank should have done the same. He didn't. That I could criticize, but then at the end also, if you're making 30 to 50 million, I don't even know what he's making to fight, to have an exhibition against just Jake Paul, I would have asked. I would do the same.
No one would say no to that.
If I had one of my fighters get an offer to fight a big celebrity, a big YouTuber for $20-30 million, I would probably do the same. So I don't blame him. You know, it's boxing. At the end of his career, 20 years from now, nobody's gonna care how many belts he won or who he fought.
Bernie the boxer, Thaw gives a sharp, no-nonsense take on the situation. He mocks those praising Gervonta Tank Davis for making money, saying they're missing the real point. Tank isn't struggling. He's already among the highest-paid fighters of his era. Fans, Bernie argues, don't care about paychecks. They care about competition, skill, and rivalries that define greatness, that he highlights that the real storyline lies in the actual ring, especially if Lamont Roach defeats Isaac Pitbull Cruz, considered Tank's toughest foe, that if Roach pulls it off. It raises questions about Tank's past performances and the sport's pecking order. Bernie says Tank needs meaningful fights too. Keep respect in boxing. Big money bouts like the one with Jake Paul may pay well, but they don't build legacy. And for true fans, legacy always outweighs profit.
Rematch with Tank, and it's I kind of don't really care about the fight no more. It's starting to lose a little steam.
But I'm saying, I mean, if he stops Pitbull Cruz, right? I mean, don't you think that people would want to see, you know, Lamont and Tank more due to the fact that, you know, Tank had a hard time with Pitbull?
No, I think people just want to see Tank versus Lamont because Lamont, he had a hard time with Lamont. It's just like Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. People just like controversy. People just like, you know what I'm saying? So people like to see finished business. You know, they don't want to leave it unfinished, and that's what the intrigue is. They want to people want to see finished business. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that's the intrigue of the fight, and it doesn't make no sense why they taking so fucking a fight. You know, everybody keeps saying that, Tank getting the money, but is we getting the fucking money? Is we bidding there for the fucking money? Is he going to give us some of the money? Are we waiting on him to feed us any bit? No. I want what I want. Fuck that. I'm selfish. I'm a fan. I want to see the fucking fight. I don't want to see no fucking circus. You know what I'm saying? So for everybody saying, oh, he get back, who gives a fuck? I hope he do get. He already rich as fuck. He already won 30 million in the last fight or something. He got more money than I'm ever gonna have. I don't give a fuck. I want to see the fights. I'm a fucking boxing fan. I want to see a fucking fight. I don't want to see no fucking farce. Fuck. Motherfucker count another motherfucker pockets. They all getting paid. These motherfuckers getting paid millions. Boy, we making how much? 60,000, 40,000 every motherfucking day. Going to work 9 hours a day and shit. And then coming home with come on, waiting on income tax and shit like that to get some big bread. Come on, man. I'm talking about the average person.
Lamont Roach speaks on the Jake Paul situation with calm conviction. He says he doesn't blame Gervonta Tank Davis for accepting the fight. Any boxer would jump at such a huge opportunity, but criticizes how it happened. Roach explains that his contract with Tank included a rematch clause, yet Tank went silent and instead signed to fight Jake without communication to T.O. Roach. That's a break in professional respect and ethics between fighters. He admits he might have done the same in Tank's place, but only if things were handled openly. What bothers him isn't the fight, it's the lack of honesty. Boxing, he reminds, is built on mutual respect and fair dealing, and skipping obligations for spectacle weakens that code. Roach says this move might benefit Tank financially, but it leaves a bitter impression among those who still value fairness, a missed chance to do things right.
Right for not executing that rematch. Is it safe to say that there was some money given to you because of that?
Money given to me, not necessarily, but you know, like I said, those guys took good care of me. Those guys on the other side took care of me. Not him personally and not his team personally, but you know,
but somebody made it right for that rematch not happening.
Kinda, you could say that.
Kinda. I understand. I don't understand the position you're in, but from the outside looking in, you had a phenomenal performance against arguably one of the best fighters, you know, top 10 pound for pound fighters in Tank, which many didn't believe it would happen. So you want the opportunity to get back and you know, I guess get the victory. But can you really, honestly, putting yourself in Tank's shoes, be upset with taking advantage of the opportunity to fight Jake Paul? Reportedly, there's about $40 million that he's going to get paid. Now, I don't know this to be, you know, accurate, but I'm saying those are the reports, right? If you were in his shoes, wouldn't you do the same thing?
See, now, this is something that I explain and express, and I hope everybody gets. That opportunity is an opportunity that you probably cannot pass up, but it's about how you handle it. It's about how you go about it. A lot of people don't know that he actually exercise his rights to the rematch, so that contractually binds us to a fight. You cannot breach that unless you do what you have to do to handle the business, to be like, okay, well, we mutually agree to let you move on or swindle around and fight.
Jake Paul defends his upcoming fight, stressing that it's not an exhibition like Mayweather versus Logan Paul. It's a fully sanctioned professional bout. He makes it clear that real judges will score it, and a true winner will be declared, proving this isn't a staged event. Jake proudly mentions the knockout bonus, calling it major motivation for both fighters. He says he performs best when doubted. Critics predicting his failure only sharpen his focus. Jake insists this fight isn't about money. It's the biggest test of his career. To him, the knockout bonus is more than financial. It's a symbol of confidence, discipline, and the courage to face one of boxing's most dangerous names. He says he's training harder than ever and truly believes in his skills. This time, Jake adds, he's not fighting to survive. He's fighting to prove he belongs among boxing's elite.
I mean, even the list you made years and years ago, Gervonta Davis is on the list.
Yeah, exactly. It's all manifestation, and it's a very powerful thing. And yeah, I think people don't dream big or set massive aspirational goals and then also put the work in. I think that's the other thing, is like, I'm still doing sprints and track work and bench press and squats and all of these things, for the sport of boxing. So when I transition to NFL, I'm going to have a lot of that natural explosiveness and power from the past 6 years of training every day.
Ryan Garcia doesn't hold back when sharing his thoughts. He sees Jake Paul's latest move as a calculated publicity stunt designed to keep him in the spotlight rather than uplift the sport. Garcia, who has his own tense history with Gervonta Tank Davis, claims Tank took this fight not for the challenge, but for the paycheck. According to Ryan, real fighters measure success through legacy, not by the attention or money one event brings.
Jake Paul versus Tank, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like everyone's talking about it. It's a whole thing. A lot of people liked it, didn't like it.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you first like saw that it was a thing?
It pissed me the fuck off, bro.
Yeah,
like,
why?
It just disappointing on mainly Jake's end. You know, we're not falling for the Disney Channel bit no more. We're not falling for you're not a fighter no more. We're not falling for that. You know, you're ranked as a cruiserweight and you're out here trying to fight a lightweight. And then on top of it, you were just talking about fighting Anthony Joshua. That doesn't make no sense. And, you know, I just felt like it was a disgrace to boxing and kind of it was not a good move by Jake Paul. You know, I understand people saying, you know, Gervonta got to go get his money, you know, blah, blah, blah. But, like, we're not talking about that shit. We're talking about the sport, bro. We're not talking about, oh, you got to get that money, bro. Yeah, but everybody's open to criticism. That's the whole point of this media shit. That's why they talk about basketball players. They don't talk about, well, LeBron's making too much. Like, nobody cares, bro. If LeBron's missing the shot, he's missing the fucking shot. So at the end of the day, bro, I just thought it was a disgrace to the sport. Because on one end, you know, you got the casuals, right? The casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. Yeah. And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter. Yeah. And to me, that's just it's tricking the public, and it's kind of bullshit, bro, at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, if Gervonta was Jake Paul's size, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. There probably wouldn't even be a fight.
Sean Porter offers a fair but critical take on the situation, that he acknowledges that Jake Paul has done well to bring real fighters into the ring. An impressive feat, but says the motivation behind those fights often comes down to money, not merit. Porter notes that most of Jake's opponents view him as a lucrative opportunity rather than a rival they truly want to test themselves against. It's a pattern that's followed Jake from the start. He's gained fame, but fame isn't respect. Still, Porter admits, Jake's progress is genuine. His skills, discipline, and conditioning have clearly improved. Yet he stresses that true respect in boxing comes only from years of battling elite opponents. T.O. Porter, boxing doesn't reward hype. It rewards heart, legacy, and consistency.
I like, when it's all said and done and when you guys go off, they go into the next man. Yeah. So if y'all can make a big payday, go get that payday. The sport of boxing don't love you. And that's the problem with this sport. It's like, what Jake Paul did, man, it's crazy, but people getting paid off of it. Yeah. So if he can call any one of y'all out and y'all can get that payday, I say go get it, baby. I'm not mad at it.
For me, and I'm not mad at this move at all for Tank Davis, but I think when it comes to boxing fans, there's an essence that comes with this sport, and it's an essence that hasn't been lost, unlike other sports.
Comedian and boxing fan Earthquake gives a sharp but funny take on Jake Paul's physical disadvantage, that he jokes that big, muscular fighters might look intimidating at first, but that advantage fades quickly once the fight begins. Their rhythm slows, their arms tire, and stamina becomes their biggest enemy. Earthquake says this could be Jake's issue against Gervonta Tank Davis. Jake's size gives him power, but Tank's ring IQ and timing could make him miss and exhaust himself. Once fatigue kicks in, no amount of muscle can save a fighter. Technique and patience decide the outcome. He predicts Jake may start fast, throwing explosive punches, but as the rounds drag on, Tank's composure and endurance will flip the fight. In the end, Earthquake reminds fans that boxing isn't about muscle. It's about rhythm, lungs, and heart.
Well, you're a boxing fan?
Totally.
Okay. Tank Davis and Jake Paul in November. According to betonline.ag, Jake Paul is the underdog at plus 139. Gervonta Davis is the favorite at minus 180. So he's the favorite almost 2-1.
Right.
What do you think will happen in this ring?
I don't know, but Tank should beat him. Tank should beat him, but Tank is smaller. And usually in boxing, you take the bigger man, but then again, Terrence Crawford killed that when he beat Canelo.
They were the same weight.
Yeah, they were
at the
same
time.
weight
Well,
at the
no,
time.
maybe a little bit different after they rehydrated, but They weighed in at the same weight. There's a 30-pound difference between Gervonta and Jake Paul. Jake Paul had to lose like 30 pounds to get down to like 195. And Gervonta, I think, is like 160.
Gervonta all the way up to 160.
Oh, hold on. Gervonta.
160.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. No. 133.8.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, he 133.
It's a 60-pound weight difference.
Yes.
60 pounds.
Yes.
All for today's video. Make sure to stay tuned for more updates coming soon.